What's going on, guys? Pegasus and the Wise Guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you sub. Make sure you hit the bell, guys. It's a very, very, very warm day, but we're about to cool off with some Marincess. Let's get it.
Becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
You must be like water. What's going on, guys? Pegasus from the Wise Guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you sub. Make sure you hit the bell, guys. This is Marincess list. I've been messing around with this a lot online. This is an 18-2 list. Just 20 games in a row. I'm above 600, I think. I don't know. Who cares? Just kind of wanted to talk about the list a little bit, just because I have a good friend in Europe that is getting back into the game, and he's like in love with this deck. So he really has just picked up the cards in real life, and so I'm going to be talking over theory a little bit more in depth, just to try to get a little bit of a point across, just to help people understand this deck a little bit better, because that's what we're here for, to help. Starting off with the deck, we played Marincess Blue Tang. Blue Tang is absolutely insane. It's a starter. If you played another deck called Salamangreat, it is Gazelle and Foxy within the same card. On normal summon, it gets to dump a Marincess card, usually the monster. It has to be the monster, actually. And then, obviously, when it's linked off, you get to mill 3, and it's like a pot of duality as well, like Salamangreat Foxy. So Gazelle to dump a Marincess monster, and then otherwise you're getting to dump something off of this card, or it's getting to interact with your opponent, unless they want to waste 2 hand traps on this one card. So it's always going to profit in some way. That's why this card is very, very good. That's why you have to pick up 3 of them, and you have to play them in each and every Marincess deck that has ever existed. I'm playing 3. Forgive the mismatch rarity, but I'm playing 3. This is my reasoning behind it. I feel that this card in the graveyard, when you banish it from the graveyard, it gets to add back a spell or a trap, which we'll show you those when we get to them. But it continues your grind game, and it keeps going and going and going. Now, a lot of people are playing 2. Standard list play 2. I only have 2 supers because I was used to playing 2. But I had this one laying around, and I'm like, you know what? And then ever since I've been messing around with it, it's been doing very, very well. I'll just say that, because you get to add back the spell or the trap, and those cards are so powerful. And getting to normal summon and basically be a marauding captain for the deck, essentially, it just has so much versatility and importance for the deck that I feel you have to play 3. And you need the names anyway, because you have to open to get to the links anyway. So it's like that should be what you play. Sleepy Maiden, playing 1 of Sleepy Maiden. She's a level 5. She's very strange, but she gets to target a card on the field and protect it from being destroyed by your opponent's card effects. I mean, that's cool and all. Usually I'm just protecting Ocean with it or something and just extending. It's a free extender by doing that, by targeting said card. And you get to banish her from the graveyard to re-equip a card. So say you have Battle Ocean, and when you equip, which we'll get into, and I can, in my combo video that'll be immediately after this, probably within the same day, she gets to re-equip usually a Marincess Link, or re-equips to said Link monster in the extra monster zone, and sometimes you're negating, and then you can loop another card onto the field to be another negate, so she can get really, really dumb. And she has a 25k booty, so a lot of times I pull her back with Anemone, just in case I get nibbed. I just want the strongest Nibiru token possible, I guess, if I can't continue on through. But there's a way you play this deck where you can, which I'll get into a lot in the combo video. I played Triple Seahorse. I had Starlights. I played this deck when it came out, and I played it a lot, and I had Starlights and all kind of stuff. And yeah, during a pandemic, that's a lot of money sitting around, so you understand why I have mismatched rarity Seahorses. But this card is a free special summon. It's like a BA special summons to a zone a Link monster points to, and she's like a Link. Any of these are pretty much the big Links by themselves, which I'll get into in the combo video. Make sure you watch it. But just to understand that, she was the original card. Blue Tang didn't even come out originally. She was the original card. and she was extremely important. She was basically all you could do. So I mean, like, hey, she's very, very interesting, to say the least. Spring Girl is one of the new cards, and she basically banishes a card, and she's like a Gigantes, I guess, in that Emancipators, the deck I played. She just banishes a Marincess, special summons herself, and then essentially you're rolling from there and being able to, at least on a normal summon, get to a link 1 and then have an add back, and then hope that you can extend from there. Like, by herself, she's not the best, but as an extender, usually you're gonna get Nibiru'd with your standard blue Tang, Seahorse, Pascalis plays, normal summoning this, and then special summoning this. That's 2, then you're gonna dump this, and essentially you're just playing Drytron, where you want all these names in rotation. So to explain the deck, it's really just a lot of these combo decks, a lot of these aggro decks, a lot of these control decks, they're all doing the same linear thing. You just want all of these to get into rotation each and every game. This is probably the least important, but essentially getting these all in the loop is what you have to do. And she's very good because usually you're gonna get nibbed through these plays, so then she and dive become really, really important, because then you can keep going. You go, and that's where you go into your Shark Toad plays if you didn't do it initially. I can show where you can do the combo to start off with. If you open a blue Tang and a Seahorse and want to dump a Pascalis. But yeah, so essentially a lot of the side deck I wanted to talk about as well, because it also matches the main deck. So I'm still in the main deck. This is the main deck right here. This is just really, really important to me because the hand traps are next. And yeah, Effect Veiler is going to remain in the deck, obviously. Effect Veiler is just really, really good. Our game doesn't have land or mana or resources or whatever. Monster effects are the resources. Effect Veiler and stuff like that, droplets and stuff like that, imperm and stuff like that are just really, really important. Triple Droll. I'm playing Droll. I don't see anybody else playing Droll and Marincess. Just searching. Even if the deck doesn't search like that, like even like sort of, I'm trying to think of a deck like even Sword Soul, that hurts them. Like Droll is still gonna hurt somebody in some kind of way. Even sometimes it can hurt Eldritch if they open Eldland. Like Droll, I just rather have it in my deck than not. If I'm playing hand traps, I always play Droll, unless the format just totally doesn't call for it. You know, like if it was like a BA sort of format, I guess, something like that. But Droll is nuts. The interesting part is where I wanted to talk is right here, because Nibiru is okay right now, but when Tearlamentis Blight comes out, they're very easily going to play around Nibiru or just flip the middle finger to the Nibiru because it just won't matter. So I believe this is in my side deck, my 3 crows. These are in my main deck. I feel like these are literally going to swap. So this is the whole point I wanted to make about the hand traps, really, is that DD Crow is much, much better against Tearlamentis. It's much, much better against Splight, in my opinion, just because they can stop and see stuff coming. And you already know what it does against Despy and stuff like that. So essentially, I think this DD Crow is essentially going to be a meta call. I'll probably do a video on Crow specifically and try to focus on the YGO scope numbers and all that type of stuff. But long story short, I feel like these two are going to swap places. But for right now, I'm playing the Nibirus, just because there's a lot of crazy wombo combo decks like Adagnister in my locals and stuff like that. Shout out to Mark. And it's just real. And you gotta have Nibiru right now. It's about to change as soon as a sneak happens. 3 Ash. Ash Blossom is Ash Blossom. Easy to side one out as a siding pattern. And she's just really strong against a lot of different things, and this deck is a 1 card combo deck, so that's why I get to play this many hand traps. So essentially rounding them out, I play double Ghost Ogre or Gusten Urgard and Shushin Heish, however the hell you say that. Artifact Lancia. This is a call for me. I feel like a lot of times shotgunning a Lancia can just cut off like the pot cards. Even if you hit Fluanderies, it hurts Dragon Link. Like it does something. So I just want a main one right now. It's probably going to change. Obviously, as soon as this new format starts, this deck is going to get bumped hard because we all know how good Terrell Elements are, how good Splight is, but it's just going to be interesting. And this is the only trap I play, and this is the hand trap basically. That is an Eagle Booster / Effect Veiler, Imperm, to say the least. It doesn't have the Imperm effect, a field effect, but it's just really strong. And you get to add it off of Coral Triangle, one of the links that we'll get to in a second. And then the spells are just rounding them out. Marincess Dive is either a Reborn or a E-Telly, which sounds really dumb, but it's a normal spell, so that's why I made it fair. This is the card you always search because Battle Ocean is still the most important card in the deck, but not to make them unaffected like Crystal Heart, because Crystal Heart is a bad card that you should not be playing anymore just because it's too much risk for too little. And anyway, the trapper's going to do it for you. But Marincess Dive is just absolutely stupid, and you'll see that in the combo video. Double Pot of Desires. I don't like this card as a card, but it's Pot of Desires, and you're playing a lot of hand traps, so you got to play it. Pretty much is what it is. You can make this Upstart. You can make this Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is a good tech. If you feel like, if you play technically well, you'll be able to reload a lot of stuff. But even if you just, Avarice can be a brick in your opening hand and you just want to Desires and draw cards, but Avarice can be really good in this deck. Signet Mining, I'm only playing 2. I don't like redundantly drawing the same thing over and over and over again when I have so many names anyway. So I'm just playing Triple Pascalis. I want to see the name off of Blue Tang. I want to see the name, not the Signet Mining. You get what I mean? That's why I'm playing. That's where I did that at. That's where I made my cut at. Double Forbidden Droplet, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Call by the Grave. Imperm is not in my deck because if you draw it in this deck off of Reef, which is this card, when you draw hand traps off of her, or if you just draw them like the way that you draw them, they're on the field to get hit a lot. And if you draw off of her, she's basically Heat Soul for the deck. If you do that, that Imperm is going to be in your hand. You can't use it. When it comes back to you, you have to set it. That's a full turn before you can use it. I'd at least like to draw the Droplet, which is why I'm playing Droplet instead. Some people playing Imperm, and I don't get that. That's just me in this deck. In this deck specifically, Imperm is a great card, but in this deck, I don't get it. But it is really, it's mediocre sort of against like Sword Soul, but it can also end Sword Soul's turn, so I get it. That's all for the main deck is 40. The side deck is just literally, I have to just point that out. That's really important. I feel like it's key. I feel like you're just gonna slip these into the main deck, literally. I feel like I can't explain that smoother than that. Artifact Scythe Hurts, you have to play these. I'm also playing Double Twin, but Cosmic Cyclone is just the most important, just because, yeah, you gotta get rid of Scythe. If this deck gets Scythe locked, you're dead. Double Twin, because Twin is Twin. This can be a call that some people have tried it in their main, like the YCS list gentleman. He had them in his main deck. It was his choice, you know, makes sense. This card is an extremely powerful card. You should play it in almost any combo deck, but a deck like Drytron, I make you interact. Some people, they know Marincess, they'll just try to Dark Ruler you and catch you that way or something like that. But when I go first, I side these in. That's all I can say. Take out some hand traps and slide those in. Double Dark Ruler. This card is going to be crazy next format. Make sure you get them. Get the hollows too and flex on them, just like you can flex on them with these anti-spells, because even though I'm playing a hell of a lot of spells, having Aqua Argonaut, which is the first card in my extra deck, having her protecting this, the game's over. Like literally. And if you don't like immediately have the Droplet or something, you know, you just have to answer so many decks. And then even like it's the perfect guy to Dark Ruler. There's just so much stuff that it's just perfect for. And then she can spin cards on and off the field anyway. So like she's crazy. She blocks spells and traps on the field. Make sure you don't get cheated by this card if you're playing against it. It's only on the field. But Aqua Argonaut is the new card that you just always go into her. Make sure you watch the combo video. Wonder Heart is a card I'm playing. This should be Dweller next format. This is my opinion, just because it can cut off decks that touch the graveyard. That's probably a better slot than this. but she attacks, and then she makes equips come onto the field and they can attack too. So she's crazy, but that's like win more-ish next format, and it's probably not the best slot because Dweller is probably better. Bubble Reef is Heat Soul for Marincess. You draw cards. Very powerful. Very powerful. I don't go into her. I usually go into Aqua Argonaut first. So just strategy real quickly. I usually go into her, try to end on her and a bunch of hand traps. Or sometimes if I know the matchup, like if I'm in game 2 and game 3 and I'm going first and I want to just crush them with all the hand traps, I make her instead. And I know that they can play without playing spells and traps. That's when I do that. But like 90% of the time, you go into her. She can summon Marincess cards back from the banish pile. So like you just end up banishing this on your turn, just in case it was there. Or if it's just there in your graveyard, banish it, boom. Pull it back on the field. And your opponent, they start dealing with bigger monsters on the field. You still struggle with getting over big attack monsters, but I don't know. I usually use this as a kill shot. It happens a lot. That's why I like that one. But a lot of people don't play Wonder Heart, so that's the easy slot. Getting into the Link 3s, Marbled Rock, very powerful card. When you want to play a resource game, maybe you didn't open well. Sometimes when I get hand trapped a lot, I go into her because I want to be able to add the cards back that I had to minus. She can just flat out add a card back that says Marincess on it. Very powerful. She's basically the same thing as Anemone. She's just, while she's on the field, she can do that. And she can pitch a Marincess monster from your hand and protect cards from battle. Very dumb. You can try out tech cards that she can protect in your extra deck. That's something to think about. Look out for the combo video because I'll have stuff like that in there. Coral Triangle. Very powerful card. It's one of the new cards. You pitch a Marincess. It's a Link 3 with only 1500 attack, weak attack, but you pitch a Marincess monster and then you get to search the trap or any trap card, but really there's only one that you can play. The rest of them aren't good. One of them is like semi-okay, but it's not good enough to be meta. And this deck is meta right now until Splight and Terralements come out. But Coral Triangle is a very powerful card. And you banish her, and you can do this in the same turn just in case you got like Torrential or something like that. You can banish her and she soul charge. She can special summon up to a Link 3 rating from your graveyard. So that's Anemone. That's kind of crazy. And another Link 1. That's crazy. She's absolutely crazy. She's the best card in your extra deck technically besides the Argonaut. She's really important. You have to go into her in your initial combos. The Coral Anemones, just rounding out the Marincesses. Anemone, when she goes to the grave, she kicks something back to your hand, obviously Toadish-like, and then she also pulls a card back onto the field with 1500 less attack. So, you know, it is what it is with that. The double slug, most of the time is what you're going to go into first, but there's specific combos where you may want to add one of the spells that said Marincess on them, and so you want to use them to chain block with. So a card like the Blue Tang that we talked about, there's some combos where you'll want to get to this spell and not have it be Ash, so you'll use this to chain link to and protect that. So that's really up to you, and there's gonna be scenarios where you're gonna know that. And especially when you special summon Pascalis, or normal summon Pascalis and special summon Blue Tang, a lot of times you want to use this first and then go into that and then chain block this with the Blue Tang. So you use the Pascalis on the other one. Just theory, guys. Make sure you watch that combo video. And the last cards in my extra deck. This is something happened to my Bahamut Shark. I literally just sold a ton of my collection, and I believe it accidentally was in the wrong book, and I cannot find my Bahamut Sharks, and I had like 9 of them. So this is Leviathan Dragon. Don't play Leviathan Dragon, play Bahamut Shark, because that summon's totally awesome. Yes, there is a combo with Blue Tang and Seahorse together that you can do to pretty much get there, or any other level 4 that you can pretty much get to that very quickly and get to it on the 5th summon, I believe, almost every single time. So you can just start off that way, and then if you have any kind of extender after that, that's a water monster, then you go through your full combo and have a Toad. But it's up to you. A lot of times it's follow-up. A lot of times it's I play through somebody's board. I can't quite kill them because Marincess' weakness is OTKing people smoothly, which is why I play Wonder Heart. That's for my specific taste. But the Bahamut Shark Toad usually it's just a game closer. But you have to be careful. I do have to mention this. You have to be careful with a field with Aqua Argonaut. I think it's pretty much any of them. Yeah, I think it's just any of them. I'll just use any of them for example. Ending on Toad, you're wide open to Mud Dragon and Super Poly because so you got to be careful. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I literally will just, if I didn't quite close them out, Toad will, because if they don't out this, they die. You have to out Toad. And with that, guys, that's pretty much it. Watch the combo video. Ari is really crazy though. The cards I talk about. Both really crazy cards. You gotta play her. Too many people play Hulk. I'm out.